Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is McDuck33, and welcome to a rather different video, actually. So a couple of weeks ago, I bought Far Cry 5, and over the weeks, I've beat it almost twice. Now, Far Cry 5 came out 2 years ago, in 2018, and today, I would like to take a look at it, and see if it holds up against modern games. Quick disclaimer, this is specifically my opinion. If you disagree with me, that's fine. I won't judge you. In fact, if you do have a different opinion, go ahead and comment below. I'd love to hear it. Now, back to the video. This video is going to be split into 4 main categories: combat, story, open world, and graphics. To start, we're going to go to combat first. The combat system in this game is a little more polished than your average shooter combat system. You've got your shoot, aim, and everything like that. You can slide and mantle like most modern games. Now the big difference, and the thing that really stands out about Far Cry 5, is that you feel pretty weak in battle. Now, when I say weak, I don't mean that you do hardly any damage. What I mean by that is you don't have a whole lot of health, especially in harder difficulties. You really feel like a human, which, in my opinion, is good, because otherwise that'd be a little strange. For example, in another one of my favorite games, Borderlands 2, you can run into a gunfight between two dozen enemies and still live. However, in Far Cry 5, you will often encounter fights between 6 and 7 enemies that, even on normal mode, will be difficult without cover. In fact, in the footage, you'll see me die multiple times trying to take out an outpost. Granted, I'm playing on hard mode, but still. And then there is melee combat, which in my opinion is pretty underrated. To start, you can throw the freaking shovel. How many other games can you throw a shovel? To start, other than that, of course they do more melee damage than a normal melee attack, otherwise they'd be pretty useless. But they also take a second to pull out and put away, so that's kind of the downside. And you typically won't just pull it out to take out one dude. But like I said before, you can throw them, and unless you're using a shovel, it's kind of difficult to judge how far the weapon will drop. There's kind of bullet drop physics. The last subcategory in combat is throwables. There's a massive, and I mean massive, variety of throwables in Far Cry 5. I personally find that the proximity explosives and the remote explosives are the most fun and overall the best. However, grenades and dynamite can be pretty useful as well. Overall, the combat system for Far Cry 5 has aged, I'd say, really well. Now we move on to story. Warning, there might be some minor spoilers ahead, so if you don't want those, I suggest you skip ahead. So this game has a very different story than most other games. Instead of having a straightforward, one mission at a time story, you get more freedom. The map is split into 3 main regions, each belonging to a different member of the Seed. Within each of these regions, there are various activities that help you progress the resistance bar, which we'll get back to in a sec, I promise. The best way to gain resistance points, or RP, is main missions. These aren't really story-related, but pretty much just involve the protagonist going around the region doing various activities. Some may be fetch quests, such as a mission called the Widowmaker, which requires you to retrieve a massive truck from cult hands and return it to its owner. Main missions, depending on their difficulty and or length, will give you anywhere from 600 to 900 RP. In total, you need 13,000 RP to complete a region, with the exception of Jacobs, which only requires 10,000. Now, every third of the bar, you'll get abducted by whichever seed region you are in. For example, once I reach 1/3 RP in John's region, he will send out a capture party to come and abduct me. Each seed has a different way of doing this. However, once you're abducted, the linear story begins. This usually involves a cutscene or 2 and your escape from custody. Again, each seed has a different gimmick that I won't spoil. So what happens when you reach full RP and the bar is filled up? Well, you get abducted one last time actually, and then it's time for the boss fight. Woohoo! The boss fights themselves aren't too difficult once you die a few times and you kind of learn, but some can be really annoying, such as the John Seed fight. If you play the game, you know how annoying that is. Overall, the different story progression is unique, and I think it really extends the game length, which is good. I really enjoy being able to finish the region and then still have stuff to do in it. Again, it kind of adds to the game length. Now on to our second to last category. This game, open world. This game has one of the best, and I mean best, open worlds that I've ever seen. You actually want to do the side activities, and not just focus on the story. We'll take another game, for example, Genshin Impact. In that game, the side content doesn't feel that rewarding, to be honest. But in Far Cry 5, all of the open world side activities move your resistance bar up. Now, it might not be that much RP that you're rewarded, but you still feel like you're making progress. I don't know how many times I've just stopped to do a mission to liberate an outpost, or destroy a cult shrine, or take down a roadblock. And out of all of this, there's only one side activity that doesn't give you RP, and that's prepper stashes. And even then, you still get tons of valuable stuff, including a large sum of money, and I mean large, some perk magazines, and some crafting materials. All of the side content in this game feels rewarding, and I think that's what makes it such an amazing open world game. Not to mention that each region is almost its own map. The overall size of the map in Far Cry 5 is massive, taking over 5 minutes to fly from one end to the other in a plane, which I'm pretty sure is the fastest vehicle in the game. Plus it can go straight instead of windy roads. Now, outposts are probably the signature Far Cry activity, like the Hidden Blade is Assassin's Creed's signature weapon. They've appeared in every Far Cry game from 3 on. Not sure about 1 or 2 because I haven't played either, but I digress. Outposts are done phenomenally in Far Cry 5. Most outposts consist of only 2 alarms. However, larger and more important outposts, like the Seed Ranch, feature 3. And again, these outposts feel rewarding. Not only do you get RP if you take out all the alarms, or kill everybody without an alarm being tripped, you get an extra $400. Now on top of this, if you beat the outpost without being detected at all, you get an extra $1,000. Now, these don't stack, unfortunately, so you can't get $1,000 and $400, but still, both are pretty good. Overall, I believe that the open world of Far Cry 5 is what most open world games should strive to be, rewarding. Now it's time to move on to our final topic, graphics. This topic won't be as filled to the brim or as long as the others, but equally more important. Alright, so I'm just going to come out and say this game looks amazing. Standing on top of Joseph's statue in Faith's region and looking out upon the vast forests below really makes you appreciate how much work went into this beautiful game. Having been to Montana myself, the developers really nailed the setting perfectly, combining a nice mix of farmland in John's region and the mountains in the other 2. I have my graphics settings set to high, but previously I had them set to medium. But even then, on some of the lowest graphics settings possible, the game still looked phenomenal. The water looked like it's actually flowing instead of just slowly moseying along. You can see the dirt painted on the outside of the Colt's white trucks. There's so much detail in the game that it would take a lifetime to explore all of it. Now, the one exception to literally everything I just said is the apples. Go check them out for yourself at the pumpkin farm and you'll see what I mean. So that is my review of Far Cry 5. Now, before we end the video, I want to say one more thing about the game, and answer the one question I set out to answer in this video. Does Far Cry 5 hold up against modern shooter games? And my response is yes. Yes, it does. The combat system is one of the most challenging I've ever played. The story is still fantastic, even after beating it once. The open world feels awesome, and I actually want to do side content. And the graphics blow out most of the modern games. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to like down below. If you guys really enjoyed, be sure to sub, because that'd be awesome. If you want to see more Far Cry content, let me know in the comments. But other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.